What is going on, everyone? It's episode 206, recorded on Wednesday, June 19th, 2024. I'm Hell Commander John, and hey, Multiverse Drew! Your mom ripped her clothes off and told me she wanted 8 inches, so I had sex with her. Twice! It's John and Virtual Drew, or is it Drew and Virtual John? I don't know, but we've got a midweek show tonight, and on tonight's show, we're going to be covering the Nintendo Direct, the first one of 2024, and maybe the last. I'm going to break down the Nintendo games of Summer Game Fest, and we have an update on Monthly Mayhem and your listener questions. Hello, everybody. Bit of a weird show tonight. This is a strange show. Drew is sick this weekend. There was only Summer Game Fest news, and Drew professes that he does not cheat on Nintendo and didn't watch the showcases, and I didn't really want to go over it, and he was sick anyway. And then this week, we just had really weird schedules, so I couldn't record last night, but I could record today. But Drew is going off to Disney, as he's going to tell you. And so we're just recording separately. It's kind of weird. And now I haven't heard everything that Drew has said already. So we'll see how this goes. We might have, I don't even really know his full opinion. I know he liked the Direct, but I don't know his full opinion on things. We'll see. We might say completely contradictory things, but we'll piece it together and we'll go from there. So how about that? It's going to be a weird one. I hope you're strapped in. I just came back from a night at Great Wolf Lodge. I talked about last year that we had gone there, and it's really cool. If you've never heard of it, it's a water park hotel. And you basically can stay at the hotel. You can just get tickets for the water park if you want to, but it's down in Colorado Springs, which is about an hour south of me on a good day. So we went down there. We checked in about 3 o'clock, a little bit earlier than they usually let you, and hung out in our room. And then we went to the water park, which is right there in the hotel. They don't have a ton at this particular location. They have like 4 or 5 different kinds of like slides, and then just sort of like a very small, wave pool. That's really it, but it's nice. It's fun. And then when you're done or you want to take a break, you just go up to your room. You don't have to like go outside at all. We didn't go outside for the entire time we were there. And I think this time around, maybe diminishing returns. The slides, which we could do over and over and over again last time. Maybe this time, a little bit of wear and tear from the previous year on there. But my son loves the Wolf Tail, which is one of those rides where you go into this pod and it just like drops the floor from beneath you, and it's always fun. It's always a little bit scary. He likes it. My wife and daughter do not like it. They each did it once last time. They did not do it at all this time. That's fine. But we had fun. A couple of jaunts in there. We were going to do some side activities and we never quite got to it, but we just relaxed, chilled, had a good time. I brought my Switch. I'll talk about what I was playing on my Switch in the hotel. I got really hooked up to the Met game. If you know me, you know I'm a big Met fan. And it has been a tough year, kind of an in-between rebuild year for the Mets. This last week, especially, has been insane. The Mets are winning every day. There's this whole thing with Grimace going on. There's so many memes. It is a really fun time to be a Met fan. In fact, I cannot wait for the game tonight. But it is amazing how much their season has turned around since the last time we did a show. All right, that's my intro. I'm going to kick it over to Drew to give his intro, and then we'll come back and move on to what's going to be coming out over the next couple weeks.
Well, that being said, it's been an adventure recently. My kids just ended school, believe it or not, 2 days ago, and a lot of other places and states have been out of the school thing for a while. So our summer is just beginning. Again, this is going to be a weird episode tonight because Unfortunately, I was sick all weekend on Father's Day. Don't get me started. That's a whole nother story. One day a year, and I was freaking sick all weekend. Just a cold, but it sucked. I'm over it. I'm good. I'm happy to be here now. And then our schedules were just bad, right? John's off doing a little 2-day thing with his family right now. I'm on the verge of going on the hottest place on earth. I mean, the happiest place on earth very soon. So our schedules just didn't align. So we really want to talk about Nintendo Direct. So we said, we'll each just say our piece, and John's trying to work his magic in the editing, and we'll put it together, and it will be good. But I mean, yeah, what a Direct. But we'll get to in a second. So all right. Monthly mayhem. A little disappointed. John and I worked hard on these things, right? We need participation, and we try to get creative when we write these things so that anybody can partake. And I get it; it's summer, right? There's a million other things to do, but we write these monthly mayhems to make them easy. We try to pick games you guys are already playing, but we need feedback. What are we doing wrong here? Because we got a few of you signed up. We got 10 days left. We need a lot more of you people, but it's simple, right? I don't even have it in front of me, but remember, there's 3 ways to submit this, right? You have the creative way. You don't even have to play the game. Google Paper Mario Thousand Year Door characters and find any character that pops up in the game. Just look at the guy and come up with some crazy backstory on who he is, his history. Why would he be a good companion for Mario to fight along him to defeat Bowser and the Shadow Queen and the whole 9 yards, right? Simple. Just you don't even need to own the game to do this for a chance of $10. Actually, it's just of $20 because by doing that, you also get entered into the $10 lottery. Simple as that. The other 2 are, I forget the names I use. What are they? Hardcore. We'll do hardcore first. That's a collectathon. We know there's people out there like me who love this game that want to just collect. And the more you collect, the bigger the prizes you get, better chance of winning. And whoever collects them all, if you can do all of it, a good chance of winning it all because we don't have a lot of submissions on this. In fact, Jesse and I are the only people. That's not true. Someone else did it recently. So I want to say thank you. Let me see if I can pull up Discord what we talked about here. So I can tell you, I want to call you guys out. Let's see who did it. That was Ryan Navno. Navno. I don't know. DeLeon. Ryan rolled credits. He submitted them. So right now, Ryan's a leader in the clubhouse, whether it was 1 or perfect score. And then the last one is skillful. This is a fun one. This is just a timed event. It's an obstacle course as Paper Mario in a tube form. Race around the course. Best time wins. Doesn't get any easier than that. So, Paper Mario, Thousand Year Door. Let's see some more entries. You got 10 days left. Start submitting them. If you played this game, you're foolish not to just submit something. Look at that. There's a friggin' beaver in my front yard. Get out of here. That's what happens. You're recording in the closet. You have the window. You're upstairs. There's beavers eating my fresh cut grass. Get the hell off the lawn. That's what I have to say. Where was I? Monthly mayhem. Submit it. Don't disappoint me and John. We don't want to be disappointed because we want to do more of these. We have all these new games coming out that we're going to talk about shortly, right? But come on. Prove it. I want 10 people. 10 people. Oh, I do have to give a shout out because there's more people. Right, so I'll give a shout out to both Darth Platypus and Hoots. They get it. They understood the assignment of being creative, and they get it. And let me just say, they nailed it. Go to the Monthly Mayhem Creative channel on our Discord. We'll read these live on the air next episode, but these are fantastic. What to go, gents?
All right. Thank you, Drew. I don't know what you said at the moment. I'll be listening to this show myself, actually, when it comes out. All right. Let's talk about what's coming out over the next couple weeks. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble is coming out June 25th. I am so tired of Super Monkey Ball. I can't keep the game straight. They all seem the same. They added a feature in this one that I thought was in the other ones. They've done Banana Blitz, and now this is Banana Rumble. I don't know why they have to keep going to the banana, but whatever. Some people like this game. Have fun with it on June 25th. A little to the left, Seeing Stars. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little bit later on in the Nintendo Direct. This didn't come out in the Nintendo Direct. This came out in, I think, Day of the Devs. A new DLC for A Little to the Left, I'm very excited about. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but that is coming out June 25th. I'm all in. Chia, which had started off as a PlayStation exclusive, made its way to Xbox, now making its way to Switch, June 27th. And Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. It is not Dark Moon. It is Luigi's Mansion 2. Yes, they're the same game. This is the remaster. Comes out June 27th. I actually don't have any interest in that game. I played through it on 3DS, so I've already played it anyway, but I didn't love it. I really liked the first one the most. And then the third one was better than 2. But yeah, I don't know. I like the Metroidvania style of Luigi's Mansion more than this sort of like bits and pieces. Plus, I have said that dang professor in the Luigi's Mansion universe, whatever his name is so freaking annoying. And he is in a lot of this game, so kind of drives me crazy. Anyway, I'm going to talk about what I've been playing, and then I will shoot it over to Drew. It's been a busy week. I have gotten back into Helldivers 2, hence I am Hell Commander John Blanco. I wanted to get back into it just a little bit because I stopped at level 98 and I kind of went into my semi-retirement. But I really wanted to get to level 100, so I had some time, and I was like, let me try to get to level 100. They also put out a new War Bond, which I was not going to buy. The War Bonds can cost around $10. You can earn that currency, that special currency, in the game, but if you just want to buy it, it's $10, which is a lot. And honestly, I don't know how worth it is. You're not really getting particularly impressive weapons. I wasn't really excited about the particular art style of this War Bond. But I just felt like I needed an extra push to get myself some levels. So I bought the War Bond. And I am basically right at the point of finishing off the War Band. Now, I've gotten from level 98 to level 102. At level 100, you earn the title of Hell Commander. So I've got a level 102. I've got a little bit more to go, and we'll see. I might jump in every now and again to play. I really love the game, but I don't need to earn samples anymore, and there's nothing new that requires samples, so I just do defense missions over and over again, which is... They're very quick, and you get your 8... I do it on the hardest difficulty, and it's not really that hard, and that's it. I just keep doing that over and over again, which is probably not healthy, but at the same time, doing a possibly 40-minute mission to earn, 5 or 6 medals is not fun either. So this is just getting me in the game, trying the new weapons, that sort of thing. I bought a PSVR 2. I'm very excited about that. I did not see this coming. I sold some Nintendo equipment just to basically fund the VR2. I've always been a little nervous about, getting a VR2 because I wasn't sure if I would like VR. And yeah, I just figured, hey, if I sell some old stuff I'm not going to play, and you know me, I cannot stand Nintendo 64. I sold the system to somebody. I sold all my games, all the games that I had left, except for, the Pikachu talking game. I still have that boxed. I'm holding on to that one. Anyway, I'm going to do a shameless plug here and refer you to my other podcast, PlayStation Daily, an episode from June 17th. I bought a PSVR 2. I talk about it all there. So instead of talking about it here, if you're interested in my PSVR 2 story, how I got it, my experience setting it up, playing some of the games, check out my podcast, PlayStation Daily, and find the episode. I don't do episode numbers. I bought a PSVR 2, so check that out. I've also been playing Persona 4 Golden. I'm making some good time with it. It's interesting. I think I've mentioned that this is my second time playing through it. The first time I played it on Vita before the Switch ever came out. This was regarded as maybe the best game on the Vita, and so I did play it, but it was my first time playing a Persona game. And I got a bad ending. Something that I have been told is not a good, a really hard to do. But I had a very abrupt game-ending ending. And I think it was because I just didn't really spend the time to establish my social links and explore the world. I know there was a lot of things I did, but I think I just didn't really see, I didn't understand the value of exploring those social links, and I think that's what did me in. So I've just wanted to play the game again and get my revenge on it. And so it came out on the Switch a while back. I ordered it through Limited Run Games. It took a long while to get to me. And then I did, so I'm playing through it. And since I played Persona 4, I have played through Persona 5 twice. So I understand the Persona universe a lot more. And I'm also noticing that there was a big jump between Persona 4 and Persona 5. In my head, Persona 4 was also really good, just like 5. But man, 5 really, really just excelled. And going back to Persona 4 feels a little bit smaller. But I will say this, the game is more succinct. I can get through dialogues and whatever much faster. The game does not get as rambly and throw you off as much. So I'm actually enjoying that it is a little bit tighter of a game. So yeah, I think I'm about 20 hours in now. I'm still freeing characters. There's moments in the game I remember, and then moments of the game I don't remember, but I'm enjoying my journey. And another thing is, because it's taking a while to get through, and you know how Persona is, you gotta optimize your day and make sure you establish your social links. And these games are so weird because they will pressure you to, you gotta do the dungeon. And then a character in the game will be like, hey, we gotta hang out. We have time. It's just weird. So I've been really kind of flexing out my my social links with characters, making sure I get my work in, making sure I'm building up all my stats or whatever. Yeah, I think I probably want to grind a little bit more in the game as well and get myself a little bit more powerful so I don't get overwhelmed later. But I also need to take some breaks from it and play something a little more exciting. So I got back to Shovel Knight Dig, and I clearly will talk about a little bit later why I got back into Dig. But I've been replaying Shovel Knight Dig, and I'll talk about it later. But I have been doing runs of Dig and remembering all over again why I love Dig. I wish more people played Shovel Knight Dig. It is such a great roguelike, one of the best roguelikes that I've ever played, and so colorful and gorgeous on the Nintendo OLED. The other game I finished up is Cult of the Lamb. This is a game that had been sitting on my backlog since Xenoblade 3. I think it came out the same week as Xenoblade 3. And I remember Drew and I grousing about how much we were really not enjoying Xenoblade 3. And there's Hambone Johnny going, I'm having a blast with Cult of the Lamb. And I was like, man, I wish I played Cult of the Lamb. But for whatever reason, it just has stayed on my backlog. And every time I, needed a game, I would be like, I don't know. It took me a while. I actually bought it on PlayStation, so that's where I had it. But again, it had been months, and I hadn't played it. And gosh, what happened was I had one game on my backlog. Literally, I used the IGN Playlists app. I had one game on my backlog. It was Cult of the Lamb. I needed a game. I was looking through my wish list of more exciting, sexier games to play. And ultimately, I was like, you know what? Let me just play Cult of the Lamb so I can get this freaking game off my backlog. And I will say, I enjoyed it immensely. It was great fun. Another reason why I had kept holding off on it, I kept hearing about like technical issues and bugs and stuff like that. So I was really waiting for that to get hashed out. And I'm happy to say that my playthrough was mostly extremely smooth. A couple of visual hiccups at especially when a new day starts, that sort of thing, but nothing that really bugged me. It was a pretty smooth experience all the way through. So in Cult of the Lamb, your goal is to create a cult, maintain your cult, build up the followers, but then you have these roguelike dungeons that you go through. And the dungeons are, generated every time, and your goal is to get to the end and fight a mini boss. You do that a few times, and then there's a boss, and then you have 4 different dungeons to go through. And it kind of breaks up. You can just sit there, that you can really just ignore the dungeons, but you cannot ignore the cult. So you have to work on your cult's faith and their hunger and the cleanliness of the whole town. And then generally when things are good and things are smooth and you can step away, you do when you do a dungeon run. The weird thing is that when you're doing the dungeon run, time does not sit still. Days still go by. The cult will get hungrier if you're not there. So there's this element of you can go through the dungeons and you can grind out all the grass and wood and stone that's there. It's really neat that you can get these resources not only in your town to help you, but in the dungeons too. But you don't want to sit around forever and do that stuff. You need to kind of get through. So I kind of like made it a point to be very efficient in the dungeons. Get through the dungeons, collect the necessary elements or whatever, but get back up to the surface, because otherwise your cult, if they start to get mad, they can leave you, they'll die. And what I love about this game is that you can name the cults whatever you want. Every time you find a new cult member, they have a default name and a default look, but you can change it when you bring them in. So I went with Discord members. And for a lot of you that got tagged, you should be honored. I was finding, the right names to use, the right animals to use. Like for Tim, I wanted a lion because he's a Detroit Lions fan. I ended up going with a silver cat. Justin, of course, was a monkey because he looks like Donkey Kong in the Nintendo Dad's avatars. I had a lot of fun. Kind of doing that. Now, a lot of you died multiple times, and I just kept, bringing up the next follower and just using the same animal. So the final versions of Tim and Jesse and Justin and Marty were not the first versions of them. Beebicel made it in. He was a bee. It's with some people like Hoots. I knew it had to be an owl, and it took me a while to unlock an owl. You just had to kind of figure out your way. So I had a lot of fun with that. Now, once you hit credits, there is some post-credits content, and I don't want to spoil any of that, but I will say that it's much harder, and you're also kind of maintaining a bigger cult by that point. And I don't know, maintaining the cult was a little bit stressful at times, constantly having to clean up stuff, and you're trying to upgrade your buildings to be more self-sustaining. But by the end, especially with the difficulty of the dungeons and everything, I was like just ready to move on with a different game. But I had a lot of fun with it. Cult of the Lamb. Long after everyone else is finished. All right, Drew, what have you been playing?
So what we've been playing, I have to start off by saying, I know last time I talked about Paper Mario. I talked about how it's one of my top favorite 5 games of all time. And I loved this remaster. The way they did all of the, life improvement features, as far as even like the pause screen and the menu and all the little collectibles, I guess now you could easily see. It made it so much more enjoyable to go off and collect them, right? Because in the past, it was hard to really understand and see what you have and what you don't have. But this was great. This laid it out, 20 of 80. Bam, done. Great. Let me find out where the other 60 are. So with that being said, for the first time ever, I can officially say I 100% completed this game. I collected every badge. I found every star piece. I collected all the shine sprites. I beat the 100 pit trial twice. Yes, spoiler alert, you do have to do it twice if you want 100% the game. I won't tell you why or how, but you do have to do it twice. Secret bosses, I didn't even know they existed. I don't know if they were in the original. So, not only did this was one of my favorite games of all time, but it was things that I'd never done before, like beat the pit twice and find another different secret boss. And what an amazing time playing with my wife and the kids watching. It just reassured the spot in the top 5. So Paper Mario 1000-Year Door, absolutely love it. Next, I've been hooked, guys. I've been hooked. I haven't been hooked this much in a long time. Star Wars Hunters. We knew this was the game for me. We knew it was maybe on the fence a little bit, but based on my history with Paladins, I knew that Star Wars Hunters was going to grab me. I love it. It's fantastic. It's such that Paladins feel where it's complicated, but it's not. At the same time, it's pretty simple control scheme. This is obviously a 4v4 arena battle style. I'm not quite Fortnite, more of like an Overwatch Paladin style play. The characters are great, diverse, right, between the different Jedis and some tanks and some healers. The typical, right? It's all the typical, and of course you have the Star Wars theme, and it's not overdone. I love how they do separate it from the movies and all of this type of shows, right? It's just you're in the Star Wars universe, but there's not like, oh, that's R2-D2, right, or that's Obi-Wan. Like it's none of that. I don't think. Maybe I'm not that much of a Star Wars nerd, but it just seems like you're in the Star Wars universe with these cool characters. And I'm having an absolute blast. There's a few things, right? I will say this, actually, before I get into the negatives. Some positives. It runs fantastic. Again, this was designed by, I don't know how to pronounce it. It was like Zynga, the mobile developers. And whatever they did, it runs very smooth for the Switch. I was surprised that it runs so smoothly. What also I love about this is how you start battles. So as soon as you click you want to play, you have the timer counting down, which gives you an estimated time of how long it takes to enter the battle. And once you enter the battle, it's fantastic. You have, I think, 15 seconds to pick your character. And you can see who everyone else is selecting, right? So let me give you my first little tip. You want to, well, at least for me, right? Everyone has their favorite characters. The key to this game, there's two keys. The first key is to have a pretty diverse team, right? You have tanks, you have healers, you have damage, you have range, you have short range. There's a few different things. So you do want a very dynamic team, meaning you always want one healer, you always want at least one tank. But it also is very dependent on the style of play for that play. So it's random generated every time you play, right? You might have like a King of the Hill type thing. You might just have first to 25 kills. There's like control points. There's lots of different styles of play that rotate. And picking your characters also make that game either easier or more difficult for your team, right? So if you can play a lot, and I've played a lot, you can really kind of diverse yourself in the style of play. And then what I always like to do in that 15 seconds, I'll wait till like the last 5 seconds. I'll see who my teammates already picked. And then I'll kind of just pick, like, do we need a healer? Do we need a tank? Do we need damage? And then I'll just go from there. Sure, there's a few characters that I love, and I've been trying to branch out now and learn more characters, right? But the three that I was always going to in the beginning were the healer chick, not Scorer, the other one, I forget her name. That was my healer. I love playing with her. Love doing her. Sure, I'll do that as well. I like, from a tank point of view, I loved the Stormtrooper, but now I've been kind of playing with the Wookiee, and I like the Wookiee because he has a self-heal, so he can kind of go off on his own in some of these zone captures. And then my third one is the one that you kind of default to in the beginning that you get to learn, Reps, where she's kind of like a typical damage with like a little missile, and she does really good damage and easy to get around. I love her grappling hook, so she can really get out of trouble quickly. But again, I've diversified my play styles, and I've expanded it out to other characters now that I'm learning and getting to love. So I've put in 50 hours into this game, guys. 50 friggin' hours. It's been out for, I don't know, 10 days, maybe 12 days. So I obviously love it. I have a problem. Maybe I need to go on vacation, so I'd stop playing it for a little bit, get my mind off it. But I'm trying to get max rank, and I'm getting there. I got sidetracked. So back to my favorite things I like. So the games start quick. So 15 seconds. That gives you how long you get to pick a character. After that, a quick loading screen. When I say quick, like 10 seconds, if that, maybe less. And then as soon as you all get loaded onto the map, you have a 5-second countdown. That's it. So from the time you actually get from the character selection screen to actually playing the game, it's less than a minute. I want to say 30 seconds, which I love. And all the game modes last, I'd say, roughly between 5 to 8, maybe 10 on a really long one. But that's it. 5 to 10 minutes, you can get right back in there. So you can play, 5 to 10 games in an hour, which is, well, that doesn't, maybe not that many, maybe 5 to 6. You can really play a lot of games. I think Tim mentioned this on the Nintendo Dads. The menu screens and stuff, there's a lot going on, but once you get to navigate and figure it out, it's fine. One thing, and you'll know when you know, it's really hard to see like what you're highlighted on. So there's all these things on the main screen, and they have like a very faint white line like where you are. So sometimes you push A and it's like I clicked something else. I clicked entered battle instead of going to the the characters or something. It's just a weird dynamic where it's hard to see where you're going and selecting things. But overall, loving this game. Star Wars Hunters, love to play with some people. I played with Tim a few times, a few runs. I love to play with some more people. So if you are playing this game, let me know. You do have to add, you have to invite friends, and you invite them by your character name in the game. So I didn't see a place you can't just, if you have friends from your Nintendo account, you can't like invite them or they don't show up. You have to know their character ID name within Star Wars Hunters and then invite them that way. So if you're trying to figure that out, that's how you do it, and that's how Tim and I figured it out. So Star Wars Hunters, love it. I'm gonna keep playing it for a while.
All right, Drew. Thanks for your games. I don't know what you're playing at the moment, but that was great. It was a great list of it. Why don't you read the Manscaped ad for us?
Hey there, beach babes! Are you ready to soak up those summer vibes and unveil those ultimate beach bods? Well, you're in luck. Our friends over at Manscaped have you covered from head to toe with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. This ultimate all-in-one grooming kit is set to have you looking and feeling your best in the summer sun. Trust Manscaped and unlock the confidence you need to turn heads this season. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code NINDADS. NINDADS. That's NINDADS. Let's make this summer the smoothest one yet.
Fantastic. Love the accent on that one. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go through the Summer Game Fest announcements, and then we're going to go to Drew, who's going to talk about the Nintendo Direct, and then we'll come back and I will give my quick opinions on the Nintendo Direct. But let's start with Summer Game Fest. This is, the official E3 replacement with Jeff Keighley. It's been mixed the last few years for as long as it's been around, and it's a weird thing because Summer Game Fest includes many different showcases, but there's also this like keynote which we really think of as Summer Game Fest, and it's a couple hours long. It was a couple hours long this year. I was very excited for it. I enjoyed watching it, but it's weird because Nintendo was not there. There was no from Nintendo announcement at Summer Game Fest. Now, we do know that these companies can be involved with the Game Awards, but Summer Game Fest has been different. There was no Xbox announcements at Summer Game Fest. There were announcements from PlayStation, and this led to a weird thing where it kind of made Sony's showcase a little bit weaker because they handed off 2 of their games over to Summer Game Fest. But it's fine. I think showcases are a little different nowadays. There are a lot of cross-platform games that all of the showcases are showing. So, for example, the Xbox showcase had 15 PlayStation games announced. Summer Game Fest had a bunch of Nintendo games announced, even though Nintendo wasn't directly involved with it. And, of course, games for PlayStation and Xbox. So you really have to watch all of these showcases to make an assessment about like overall, what did we get? So let's go through. I'm going to keep this very Nintendo focused, and we are going to start off with, where did we start off? I guess we'll just start off with the Summer Game Fest first. And there was a bunch of stuff announced here, and the Summer Game Fest actually kicked off with Lego Horizon Adventures. And this was great. This is a Lego game. Now, it's not from the traditional developer of the Lego games. This one comes directly from Guerrilla Games, which is the developer of the Horizon games. And this is a fun, frolicking Lego adventure with Aloy, who stars in the 2 Horizon games that we have now, Horizon Zero Dawn and then Horizon Forbidden West. Both excellent games. Great single-player, adventure, RPG, side quest goodness games. And this is going to be sort of not a continuation, kind of like an alternate, fun little version of the Horizon game. So I don't know what we're going to see here, but we see a lot of the same monsters. And Aloy is just fun and a little less serious because it's really just a Lego adventure. And it looks fantastic. Now, this is not just coming out on PlayStation, which is the home of Horizon. This is also coming out on Nintendo Switch, which is a great choice. Because this is where Lego games get played the most, probably, and they know that. So we are going to be able to play as Aloy on a Switch for the first time ever. There's no specific date, and that was a theme with a lot of big game announcements this year. Holiday 2024. So even though it is mid-June, we don't have a definitive date. I'm hoping that this trend of smaller time frames instead of like a particular date is just companies wanting to make sure it's polished and good enough for release, and they'll announce it when it goes gold. So it's fine, not a big deal, just something I've noticed recently. We also got announced Harry Potter Quidditch Champions coming to Switch on September 3rd. This is not part of Hogwarts Legacy at all. It is completely separate. It's developed by a different company. It is not DLC or anything like that. It's its own game. And it looks like it's going to be an online multiplayer type game along, Foam Stars and Fortnite and Helldivers and I guess some of those games. This is going to be coming out September 3rd. And interestingly enough, it's a day one game on PS Plus. But it will be available on Nintendo Switch just as normal. So very cool. Not really interested in this one. I don't know. Maybe 10 years ago I would have been, but very cool that the Harry Potter characters are in here. Harry and Fred and George and Hermione and all that. So, very neat. We also got the announcement of Neva, which I think is a game that got teased a while back. But if you've ever played Gree, this is the next game from that studio. That really, literally their second game. Now, Neva takes from Gree that watercolor prettiness of it. But if you watch closely, Neva looks like more of a platformer, more combat and that sort of thing. Gree didn't have any of that. So this is going to be a very different game, though with a very similar, beautiful art style. And that's going to be coming to Switch in 2024. We also got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Just imagine in your head for a second Shredder's Revenge, and you enjoyed that, right? Imagine the look of it, the vibrant colors, the pixelation, but the modern graphics. That's what this is. I think if you loved Shredder's Revenge and you're into Power Rangers, you're going to love this one. 2024 looks really cool. If you like Power Rangers, you're going to play this game. And then Civilization 7 for the first time is coming to PC and consoles on the same day. When that day is, it's 2025. But it is coming to Switch. So that's really exciting that day one will be on Switch. I think it will be day one. We'll see. Sometimes those ports can be a little weird. All right, there's a bunch of other showcases that happened as well, smaller showcases, and Day of the Devs was the next one, and they had the most interesting one. I've begun to really make Day of the Devs a must-watch showcase. We got an update on Arranger, a role-puzzling adventure. Very cool game. We saw this in the Indie World announcement from Nintendo. Basically, your character is on a set of, I don't know the best way to describe it, like conveyor belts or whatever. So the movement is very weird. It just looks really cool. I'm really excited for this one. This is coming out July 25th, and I'm definitely going to be playing it. It just looks really fun. So I'm excited for that one. I talked about it earlier, a little to the left, Seeing Stars, the second DLC for the game. I am psyched for this. I thought I was done with A Little to the Left when I finished the base game. When the DLC was announced, I was like, nah, I'm good. I finished it all. But then I went and played it. And I thought the first DLC was better than the game itself. So I was like, oh, very cool. But I thought we were done. And we're not. Seeing Stars is coming. I expect to get a lot of the higher quality in the DLC as the developers have learned to make their game and maybe seen like how people play it. This one, Seeing Stars, features the fact that the items you pick up to organize you can actually interact with them and change them before you organize them. So very excited for that. I'm definitely going to play this as soon as it comes out on June 25th for sure. I expect the DLC to be a few bucks the way the first DLC was. Definitely worth it. Love to support the developer. I really enjoyed this one. The other game that I saw that really caught my eye was While Waiting. This was a game that is various screens. They don't really connect, but there's like these various scenarios where you're waiting for an elevator, you're waiting at the post office, like that sort of thing. And in sort of an Untitled Goose Game style, you have a list of things you need to do that may or may not be obvious how to do them. And you just figure them out. But if you just do a couple of important things, you will finish the level. I'm fascinated by this one. I definitely want to play it. It is coming to Steam and all that. But I've heard that there is a Switch version that will be coming. As soon as they get this game released, they will be focusing on the Switch version next. So I'm excited to see this game. I thought it was a really cool little game that I was really interested in. Devolver Digital, I love their games. I love the games they feature in their showcases. I have historically not liked their very bloody showcases, but in the last year or two, they've gone away from that, so that makes me really happy. But Devolver Digital's showcase was a big miss this year, I thought. I don't have any games of interest. The only note I have here is the Cult of the Lamb Unholy Alliance. It's a co-op expansion coming out August 12th. But they didn't give any updates on the Squire game, which is, I'm forgetting the name of that game, The Plucky Squire. No updates on that. It's still coming, but we don't know a date or anything like that. They didn't show anything new, which honestly, I don't really want to see anything new, but I would have thought it was a total lock that in this showcase, they were going to be giving the release date for it. So I don't know what's going on there. There's also a game called Baby Steps that I've kind of expected. I think it's a PlayStation exclusive, but maybe not. I've been interested in finding out more about that game. They didn't show any updates on that. So, plus a lot of their new games are like going in a 3D direction, and that's not why I love Devolver Digital. Not to say that those games won't be good or anything, but it's not what I look for from Devolver Digital. It's not why I love Devolver Digital. So their showcase to me was a big miss this year. Hopefully you enjoyed it more than I did. I want to talk about the Xbox Showcase. Xbox Showcase was great. Tons of really great games. I'm not going to speak to Xbox's own games and their exclusives on this show, but you guys, I was watching the showcase because they put on very long showcases. I was watching it on my phone. I had brought my phone in. I was hanging out with my family while they were eating dinner, but I was watching the showcase, and it's excused. They know I'm a podcaster. And I was kind of like looking at it, and a trailer came up, and I was looking at it. I was like, oh, that's an interesting style. And then I'm looking at the character, and I was like, God, that looks like Max Caulfield from Life is Strange, And I guess apparently before that it showed the Deck 9 graphic, but I missed it. I was talking with my family and kind of glancing up and down. And I'm putting the volume up, and I'm like looking at it, and it's like a new supernatural adventure, and I'm like, this is a Life is Strange game, but is that Max? And it's going on, and it's Max, and it's Life is Strange, and my jaw was hitting the table. I was like, what? And sure enough, Life is Strange Double Exposure gets announced. We get a date of October 29th. Which is just crazy to me. Now, here's why I'm shocked about this. If you haven't played these games, we have never had a sequel to the original 2015 game. Never. There is a comic series, which is non-canonical. We have only seen Max in a DLC episode from the prequel when they were 9 years old. We have never seen what happens after that story. And if you've played Life is Strange, the ending has two very distinct paths. This game looks amazingly beautiful. Deck 9 is a really good developer. I do rate the Don't Nod games in the Life is Strange series above all of the Deck 9 games. But this game looks gorgeous, and this game has Max, so it's very exciting. I am stoked for this. They did a follow-up showcase. When was it? Was it Monday? Might have been this Monday. And they did a follow-up showcase and showed more footage. And oh my God, Max retains her quirky, nerdy sense of humor, and I loved it. I'm so excited. I spent so much money on this game already. I bought the $80 Ultimate Edition. I bought the same Ultimate Edition for True Colors. Is it worth it? Probably not, but I will support Life is Strange all the way. And then I bought the $60 Collector's Edition, which doesn't even include the game, which includes some merch. Honestly, I'm not even in love with the merch. But it also had a pin that Max wears in the game. I'm buying it, man. I want the box. So I've spent about $150 total on the game. The good news is I can play the game 2 weeks early, just the first couple episodes, so I can't play through the whole game. I don't like early access, but I was buying the Ultimate Edition anyway, so here I am. I'll be able to play it mid-October, and I will, even though there will be a big gap until the rest of the game, but I'm going to play through the first 2 episodes a couple times anyway, so who cares? So excited for that. Between Life is Strange and Lost Records, holy moly. All right, then there was the Yacht Club showcase, which is always big on my radar. Yacht Club, don't miss. They make some of the best games in the world. And they had a lot to announce. First of all, a new DLC for Shovel Knight Dig. I told you I was going to come back to that. Call back. They announced a DLC 2, Wicked Wishes, which comes out this summer. And I realized that I hadn't really explored the first DLC. In fact, I had to remind myself what the first DLC, and I was like, oh yeah, it was like the Black Knight, but I didn't really play it. Now, the first DLC is the Black Knight visits, and essentially it's like heat levels. If you've played, most roguelike games, but think Hades, right? You add more heat, you make your run more difficult, you try to get through it at more difficult levels. That's what the Black Knight represents. The problem for me is I hadn't played Shovel Knight Dig in so long. I was so rusty. I didn't even know the controls. So I have been doing runs of Shovel Knight Dig, not even doing the heat. I'm just playing the base game. I'm trying to unlock the last few things that I never unlocked before. I'm going to probably look up, how do I get this thing? Just explain it to me, because obviously I have not stumbled on it. But I'm trying to win a run, just so I can get myself to a point where I'm capable of winning a run. And then I'm going to try some of the heat stuff, but definitely wasn't about to do the heat stuff when I suck at it right now. Shovel Knight Dig is also coming to Xbox and PS5, so if you're listening to the show weirdly and don't have a Nintendo Switch, I highly endorse playing that game. They announced a new Pocket Dungeon DLC. This is the second DLC, and it's called the Paradox Pack DL, whatever that means. And they said there's a third DLC coming in the future, which is really crazy because Pocket Dungeon didn't sell well. I don't even think they sold 1 million copies of it, which was surprising, but it's a puzzle game. But I love it. And I played through a lot of the first DLC, and I'm excited for the second DLC. Now, this is marked as coming soon, and this became kind of a trend because they also announced that there was Shovel Knight Shovel of Hope DX is coming, a definitive version of the game, although to me a little bit of a cash grab that has tons of options and ways to change the games and mods and blah, 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 blah. And they gave an update on Mina the Hollower. They showed a lot more footage, also coming soon. And there's going to be a Shovel Knight 2, potentially a 3D game. Again, no dates. Nothing had a date. Nothing was shadow dropped in this showcase. So they announced a lot. There's a lot of really cool stuff. Mina the Hollower looks like it's going to be fantastic with so many secrets. Shovel Knight 2, I'm sure, is going to be great. New DLCs for existing games. No dates on anything, which was a little disappointing. You got it. You have to shadow drop something. You have to say, this DLC is available right now. It's $4.99. Go get it right now. And then, while people are there, maybe they buy the base game and they jump in. By saying coming soon, you're basically saying coming soon, and now it's going to leave your air. You had this showcase that really, was sponsored by Summer Game Fest and brought people's eyeballs to your showcase. And now, when you announce the DLC is released, that's going to be a little YouTube video that people are going to miss. So I really felt like they needed to have something available, something to drop during that showcase, and they did not. Maybe something got delayed, I don't know, but a little disappointing, but lots of cool stuff coming from Yacht Club. But Get Dig. A Pocket Dungeon's a puzzle game. You might not be into it. Get Dig. Dig is awesome. All right, and then there were just a few other smattering announcements. Metal Slug Tactics. We hadn't heard from that game in a while. That is coming fall 2024 and looks great. So I was kind of falling away from that game, but now it's on my radar again. I'm very excited for that one. Yuka Replay, which is really awesome. The first game, Yooka-Laylee, which was supposed to be sort of like Banjo and Kazooie, really didn't land. I didn't play it personally, but it had some mixed to bad reviews. I don't know why, but there was just some things about it people didn't like. I loved Impossible Lair, however, but I still have never wanted to go back to Yooka-Laylee. But now, Yuka Replay is sort of not a remaster, not a remake, but just sort of a retinkering of the original game, I think, to address a lot of the critical feedback it got. And now it's on my radar. It's a game I'm excited to see land. We'll see. I'm very excited for it. And then also Dredge, the Iron Rig DLC got announced for August 15th. I'm very excited. I've been wanting to replay Dredge so that I can do the first DLC. And so this is going to set up, I think, beginning of August. I'm going to replay Dredge, play the DLC, and then lead right into the Iron Rig. So lots of great announcements for sure. Now let's get into the Nintendo Direct. I'm going to have Drew give his opinions of the Nintendo Direct, and then we will bounce back to me, and I'll talk about what I thought and hope that maybe we match. Who knows? We don't have to. We're not going to agree. Drew, what did you think of the Nintendo Direct?
All right, let's talk the Nintendo Direct, the announcements. What a fantastic Direct. Let me just tell you, we all went in there with low expectations. We all did. We weren't sure what the future of the Nintendo Switch had in mind, what it meant, what it held for, but did it disappoint? No, it did not. I thought this was one of the best Directs. And I don't say that a lot. I'm usually the negative Nancy of the show. Just look at our Apple reviews. But today, I'm here to tell you otherwise. This was something I did not expect. I did not see all these games coming. This was like an A-. And there's a lot of games I don't even plan on playing, but I respect them, and I respect the games, and I respect the announcements. So let's get into the ones that I think I'll talk about. I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm sure John will talk about ones I'm not talking about. But let's see how it kicked off with a brand new Mario and Luigi game, Brothership. Is that a real word? Brothership. I don't know, but I'm into it. Did not expect to see a new Mario game, period. I will say, I understand Mario and Luigi. Marty summed it up perfectly, right? It's actually like there's three entries into the Mario RPG world, right? There's Mario RPG, which is really a one-off, so I wouldn't know if I would consider that a series. Paper Mario, which has several, and then Mario and Luigi, which has several, right? Did not see this coming at all. Interesting take how they submitted, they released this, not submitted, they released in this announcement. I mean, it comes out November 7th. Within really, 6 months of Paper Mario. I guess it's a long span at the end of the day once it comes out. But interesting take how this is coming out. It looks fantastic. I love the art style. Mario and Luigi is one that, unfortunately, I never really got into. I think I've said this many times in the past. I was just never really a DS or a 3DS player. So I missed a lot of these games. But let me tell you, I am super excited to play Mario and Luigi Brothership. Looks great. Love the art style. Excited to play the quirkiness of these games. November 7th. All right. The World Championship NES edition. I think that's what it's called. We knew about this. We saw a little bit more on this time, right? So we got to see some expansion of the gameplay, the modes, the more games. I still feel the same. This is an NSO like game in my eyes, not a $30, $60 special edition game. We'll play it. We're all going to play it, but this is going to be like, I think I played hard for a weekend or two, maybe a monthly mayhem, and then I probably never play it again. And maybe that's okay for a $30 game. Maybe it's me. Maybe that's fine. Maybe it's not supposed to be more than that. But I don't know. There's just something about this. Just seems it's the same games we keep playing. Like, God, I love retro games. I do. I don't want to sound negative. I collect retro games. I still have all my original games. But it's like, how many times do I need to buy them and play them? Survival mode was a new feature that they listed here. Very interesting. I love this concept. I could see myself playing this. I would love that they did this into some type of ranked system where, you get points, maybe like if you come in 8, I think it was like 8 or 10, right? So if you come like in the bottom half, maybe you lose points, the middle you kind of break even, and like the top 3 you gain points. So you kind of go on like a ranked mode and you try to see how far you can get up. And almost like, no, I don't want a battle pass, but almost like think of it this way. They seem to have a battle pass system where you get rewards, but one-time type thing. I'm not saying to redo a pass like that. Skins or backgrounds or whoever it might be, but I doubt that's going to happen. But the survival mode sounds cool. July 18th. To say I'm excited would be definitely a lie, but I have it pre-ordered. I'll be playing it with you and the rest of the community. But yeah, I don't know. World Championship NES edition. We'll see. All right, I'm going to skip ahead to a game that we thought was dead, but Zablanc, I don't know if I got to talk to him about this. John, are you happy? Are you disturbed? Are you sad? Are you excited? Are you miserable that you have to go back into this game? I don't know. I need to know how you feel. Switch Sports update? Who wanted this? Nobody wanted this. Basketball is in summer of this year. Let me tell you who's in, though. This guy. Basketball? I'm in. 3-point competition? I do those already in my living room with my kid. Now we're going to do them virtually on the TV. Yeah. I mean, this looks kind of fun. I could honestly see me and my son playing online, 2v2. God, we didn't need this. No one saw this coming, but here we are. We're talking about it, and yeah, I'm in. I'm locked in. I'm in. That's what I want to talk about is Mio. I thought it was Mio. I keep saying Mio. I'm going to go with them. They probably do more research than I do. I'm not going to lie. I thought this was like Silk Song the first second I saw it. And then it expanded to look almost like an Ori / Hollow Knight / I don't know, Metroidvania type style game. I've been getting a little bit more into these games, right? I actually enjoyed Hollow Knight to a certain extent besides that one feature. I loved Ori. I don't know. There's something about this game. Seems intriguing. We have a long ways to wait, but 2025, I might give this one a go. Next one, Disney Illusion Island update. This is fantastic. This game, they're really playing into this game. They're really promoting it. They're really giving it more love with continuous updates. I voiced my opinion about this game a long time ago. Ooh, excuse me. It was fun, but it was just also lackluster. I didn't love how it was a game with no combat, and I mean that respectfully, right? We played as a family, the four of us, 4 co-op play, which is great. Couch co-op was fun. Great quirky dialogue and story, but the lack of, again, I don't hate that it's not that there's no combat, but just being a platformer wasn't enough for me. We eventually fell off it, but we played a good bit. I want to say there was like 3 bosses. We beat 2 of them. So, I don't know. Disney Illusion Island update. Not excited, but I'm glad they did it. They're really playing into this. All right, next is, no lie, this is the highlight of the Direct. Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. Now, let me give you a little history lesson out there for those people. There was a game on the site of Genesis called Tiny Toons. Oh my God, Sports Academy. No, Tiny Toons. Hold on. Tiny Toons Sega. What the hell is it called? All-Stars. Tiny Toons Acme All-Stars. God, forgive me. John, cut that. You edit that, made that sound like I'm smart. There was a game for Sega called Tiny Toons Acme All-Stars. And it was awesome. And it was exactly this. Now, this obviously is taking it to the next level. It's upgrading it to Looney Tunes. Okay, that's fine. I mean, they're both fun. The game was fantastic then because it was essentially Mario Sports or all these other types of sports games. But they had some just unique, dynamic type of gameplay features and upgrades and power-ups that I never saw other games do, right? There was this one thing in the basketball, I forget, but if you heard a certain shot, you would go to the middle and you jump on this, almost at a wheel. And you could get 0 points, or you get 10 points, or you could get power-ups, and it was all different things. So I'm super excited about Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. They didn't really, in case you didn't catch all of it, I mean, the games are perfect. Tennis, which I'm probably the least excited for. Basketball, which is, I remember on the Acme All-Stars, was by far the best. Soccer, which is going to be awesome. It's going to pretty much probably similar to a Mario Strikers feel. And lastly, which I don't think they showcased, but I got the inside info. The last game is golf. And you know me. If there's anybody with a golf game, I'm on it. And I'm super excited to find out how in-depth they go with this golf game, because we've all seen even simple golf games sometimes can take off, right? I remember the stupid golf game on Clubhouse Games. We made an entire monthly mayhem out of it. It was awesome. It was so much fun. So golf is a real easy game to have a really good in-depth detailed golf game, which is really just part of another bigger game. So super excited to see what comes out of this. Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports, highlight of the showcase by far for me. Among Us updates really quick. They went through it, but my daughter's been playing this a lot lately, so she was super excited to see this. I'll ask her some feedback and get back to you guys. But good to see this game still being updated, especially with the new TV show coming out as well. So looks like Among Us is here to stay and continuing to get some more stuff. All right, next big one was Donkey Kong Country Returns Remaster. Coming out in January. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what it says it is. There's not much to really talk about. I played Tropical Freeze for the first time this year or this winter. It was fun. They're not my favorite games. I like seeing the level design. I think it's unique. They do some really cool things with the level design and the different concepts of the platformers. But at the end of the day, we'll see what's going on in January of 2025 and if I want to play this game or not. Also, how the co-op mode is. I'm sure it'll be just like Tropical Freeze. Next on the list, Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3, 2D HD. I'm intrigued. I'm not going to lie, I'm intrigued. I need to talk to Jesse and maybe John. You guys got to sell me a little bit on these because I am intrigued with this. Obviously, I'm a fan of the more recent Dragon Quest games, and I'm sure if you tie it back to the roots, this is where they came from. I'm interested in how long they are. I guess I can look that up easily myself. But I mean, I'm not investing in. I don't want to invest in a $50 to $100 game. But knowing these are older games, I'm hoping they're more like that 15 to 25 hour range. And if they are, I could see possibility. 2025 seems like a long ways away. Not what we were hoping for. But yeah, excited for those. Excited to see them. This one's Funko Fusion. Yeah, I think Marty again summed this up well. With it's a Lego game, right? It's essentially looks like a Lego type game, with these different worlds and characters that you can interact with and play. Kind of like a hack and slash type game with some fun puzzles mixed in. The problem here is looking at the character, movies, franchise, whatever you want to call it. Not the choices I would have went with. There's some very interesting choices, I guess you could say. And maybe that's what they wanted. They wanted to go a little bit more off the beaten path of maybe characters that aren't portrayed in video games already. But that's the problem with these type of times. Just like a Lego game, right? You can make an excellent Lego game, but if it's not a franchise that you're invested in or that you enjoy, you probably aren't going to play it, right? For example, if you're not a Harry Potter fan, there's no reason for you to go play the Harry Potter Lego game. That's how I kind of felt about the Funko Fusion. Now, this is something that you can definitely probably foresee them doing DLC packs and updates. And again, all it takes is to introduce the right franchise that you're obsessed with. And now all of a sudden, bam, I'm locked in. I want to buy the game and I want to buy the DLC. So who knows? This could be something that we see going on for a few years. And I could see this just, again, the constant DLC. Luigi Mansion 2 HD, June 27th. That's next week. Yeah, I'll be playing it. Never played this one. Again, back to that 3DS comment I made earlier. Never played it. I'm excited to play it. They showed it off. Obviously, worked one thing. This one was the new Denpa Man. Did this not remind anybody else of Miitopia with weird-looking guys? Just saying. Comes out in July. I will not be playing it. Metal Slug Attack Reloaded. I guarantee John is into this one. This seems like something his cup of tea in a way. Tower defense, but a little bit different strategy. There's the traditional tower defense games you think of with kind of that top-down view with the little swirly intertwining roads that you have to put your towers down. And then there's the other ones. I remember there's like that Stickmin game back in the day where it's kind of like a left to right concept and it's more from the side angle of tower defense where you kind of drop your people. And that's more on this side, but you're using cards. Interesting take. I thought about it and I said, oh, that sounds like something I could play. I like those type of games mobile. But and then I thought about it. I said, nah, probably not. Darkest Dungeon 2. John's been talking about this one a lot in the past. He almost sold me once on it. This one, I really liked the aesthetics of this visually. Like that wagon going through the woods, like away from the screen, was really cool. I'm assuming that's like between battles and stuff, but I really enjoyed the look of this game. I know I've talked to John a ton about this, and he always tells me how difficult it is, and maybe they've updated this one a little bit to keep it difficult, but a little bit more forgiving. And if we can catch wind of that, maybe I'll give it a go. Maybe this comes out July 15th. Maybe this isn't a day one, but maybe hear some people talk about it, get some reviews, get me excited, and we'll go from there. NSO updates. Wow, what a drop. What a drop here for the NSO update. So, Link to the Past, Four Swords. Now, I want to be clear. This is the Game Boy version, Game Boy Advance, right? Game Boy Color, whatever the hell it was. Not the GameCube version. Though they're similar, I believe, if I remember correctly, they are different. Don't quote me on that. I would love to see the GameCube one. Obviously, we can't. We don't have GameCube available in the NSO. But this is cool. This is definitely something I'm looking to possibly grab 3 people, members in the community, the Discord, and play this. Hey, every Wednesday night from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m., we're just going to play 1 hour of this. And if it takes, 15 weeks, it takes 15 weeks. And go from there. But yeah, I think that's the way I want to play this game. It sounds like it could be potentially a lot of fun. Metroid Zero Mission. Don't have much for you. Turok Dinosaur Hunter and Perfect Dark. Now, I'm going to be honest. I was a huge N64 guy. Excuse me. Never played Perfect Dark. Never played it. So, for those listening right now, message me in Discord. Let me know why I should play it and if it's still going to hold up. I know everyone talks about it. I get it, right? Same engine of like 007 and stuff. But I guess my concern is, I played actually a lot of GoldenEye when it came out on the NSO. Will this game hold up, or will it be a struggle to get through? And I guess, again, how long is it? That always comes back to that question. So these are all available today, which is fantastic. Maybe I'll download this for the plane ride and give it a go. Moving on. Super Mario Party Jamboree! God, if I told you that Super Mario 1,000 Years is one of my top 5 games of all time, I will tell you this. Mario Party in general is a top 5 franchise of all time for me. I love Mario Party so much that I'll play solo. I'll play by myself and it's computer plays. I just love Mario Party. This game looks like it goes back to the roots, but introduces just a small enough new mechanic not to make you hate it, right? I mean, there was a bunch of Mario Parties back in the day that introduced new mechanics that destroyed the game. They didn't do that. I think they recognized that they want to stay to the core, but just have small new things. The online play looks insane. Looks like it's so much fun. The new maps look amazing and fantastic design. It looks like the catalog of players to choose from has kind of kept on that Super Mario Party franchise theme with like plentiful of them, with hopefully tons of unlockable stuff, maybe even costumes for players. I don't know why I thought that, but I feel like I got that vibe. Super excited for Super Mario Party Jamboree. October 17th did not come soon enough. This is definitely something I'll be playing with the whole family. Can't wait. Next on the list, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. September 26th. Wow, did not see this coming. I think we all thought this was going to be a remake of Wind Waker and maybe Twilight Princess, but here we are. We're talking about a brand new Zelda game. In the font of Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, interesting choice. How that's how they want to portray it. Makes you wonder if this Hyrule is actually like that Hyrule that we know. Like, is this? I don't want to say it's necessarily part of that. I don't know what the word would be. Theme, world, franchise, whatever you want to say. But interesting choice. I almost feel like it's trying to be canon with those two games, which would be super interesting. I'm going to be blunt here, and I'm going to be negative Nancy Drew. As much as this game is going to be awesome, it's going to be fantastic. I love the fact that I play Zelda. The tri-rod sounds dirty. I love it. I'm fine with all of those things. Fine with not Link, not having a sword, whatever. I'm over that. My concern is the same concern I had with Tears of the Kingdom, which was really bad. What is up with this shit of letting you play Zelda the way you want to play Zelda? I don't think I'm a fan of it. Like, to me, to stack beds on top of each other to get up a rock wall in Zelda, I feel like I'm playing that game. Remember that game Scribble Knots? This reminded me of a Scribble Knots game, not a Zelda game. You use the word Zelda, and it's just what is this garbage, frankly? in Tears of the Kingdom, we introduced all of these new mechanics, and it broke the shrines, right? And people are going to say it didn't break anything. They wanted you to be able to beat the shrines any way you want. But at the same time, like, remember back in the old days, you used to play these stupid games, like, well, not stupid. You used to play these advanced games at the time, Skyrim, World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, right? Remember when you used to like kind of do those jump mechanics to try to get up a mountain, and you'd like try to find a ledge, and then you keep like, that's what I feel like we're doing here when you try to like break these games to cheat it, to get it to new ways. And they can say everyone's adventure is a unique adventure. I don't give a shit. I don't need a unique adventure, right? I just want to play Zelda games. Like, I'm great with the tri-rod concept and stuff, but I don't know. Like, it's just, like, it's always a gimmick. It's always something unique and weird. So there, I said it. I'm probably the only person. Besides that, the game looks fantastic. I'm going to play it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to hate this gimmick, but it looks fantastic. I mean, we have Toy Link, Toy Zelda. They're back. The world looks fantastic. The graphics, the visuals, great. Cannot wait. Love it. Let's move on. Lego Horizon Adventures. Wow. Yeah. Didn't see this coming. Always been fascinated with Horizon. I think if this was ever a normal Nintendo game in the past, I would have definitely, my cup of tea, played it. So here's my chance. This is it in Lego form. Well, I'm going to give it a try. Be interested to see how it plays and what it looks like, and learn a little bit more about the Horizon lore, I guess you could say. Next up, Stray. Again, didn't see this one coming. I know that a lot of people loved this game. I don't know if this is a game for me. Again, this is one of those, we'll see what else is out. But I'm glad to see it come into the Switch. I think that's a good win. Would have grabbed that. And of course, we got to end towards the end with a little bit of Tales of the Shire. Anything Lord of the Rings is for me. Essentially, this is Animal Crossing, but a Hobbit. I'm going to say it. No, I shouldn't. I'm going to say, you know what? I'll say it. God, I can't believe I'm going to say it. Game looks a bit boring. Looks a bit boring, I'm not going to lie. Am I going to play it? Absolutely. Will I put more than 5 hours in? I don't know. I could put 100 hours into it. I could fall in love with it. Maybe there's so much more that we're not seeing yet. I would have loved for this game to be more of, I can't believe I'm going to say this either, Moonlighter, where you manage the Shire, you grow your crops, you have your garden, you cook good meals, you do the whole 9 yards. But I wish there was some type of, you venture out, right? You go into the woods, you fight some spiders, you harvest some more crops, you bring them back. And maybe there is. I haven't seen it. And I'm just a little bit concerned with not seeing enough of the game yet to know what else is there to do besides just a farming simulator. And I don't know. Concerned, but excited. Tales of Shire comes out this holiday. Lastly, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Beyond what? Is the question. I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about Metroid. I don't. I haven't really played it. I tried Metroid Prime. Didn't like it, to be frank. I thought it was an empty world that lacklustered. Didn't really understand it. And I'm going to say this one here again, too. Excited for everybody out there. I know a lot of people said it looked fantastic. I kind of disagree. I felt like it didn't look fantastic, actually. I thought it looked a little shaky, to be honest. I thought, again, it felt empty just from the small teaser trailer. I think there's more to this game that we don't know about yet. Again, I don't know if I'm going to play it. I don't know. I don't see anything pulling me into it as it is of right now. But yeah, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond 2025.
Wow, Drew, I just presume that was highly controversial. I do know that Drew was very excited about the Nintendo Direct. I think he was higher about it than I was, but I'm also high about it. I think we both agree that it was a very good Direct. So let's talk about. I'm not going to go through all the games. I'm not sure if Drew did, but I'm not going to go through all the games. But I'm gonna go through the highlights to me. And first of all, Mario and Luigi Brothership was announced, a brand new game, very exciting. I feel like in watching Nintendo news, I am like remake. So as soon as they're showing Mario and Luigi, I'm like, oh, I'm like the guy from Major League, right? Oh, what's this gonna remake, huh? But the more I watched it, I was like, this seems like a new game. And sure enough, Brothership is a brand new game. I'm excited. I have played through all of the Mario and Luigi RPG games, and I'm excited for this one as well. The art style was like a cel-shaded, unique look to it. I'm not sure if I loved it. I love unique art styles for sure. I'm just not sure how much this one was grabbing me. But just that mechanic of controlling Mario and Luigi at the same time in battle with A and B, I always just find really fun and interesting. So I'm really excited for a new game. November 7th is my birthday week, so I'll be playing that hopefully day one. I'm very excited to see that. We got some updates on the NWC NES edition. Legend challenges and survival mode. This is a game that I've gotten less and less excited about as time has gone on. It's a great monthly mayhem game for sure, but is that it? Am I just like running and hitting a Goomba as fast as possible? I really want to see an NWC mode or whatever, but the legend challenges look interesting. Survival mode looks interesting. Kind of look like Super Mario 35, right? So I'm excited about this one. It regenerated my excitement a little bit more. I'm playing it for sure, and I'm going to play it to death probably, but I was really hoping to see new modes, and we got new modes, so that was extremely cool. Switch Sports got a surprise update. Look, this is what Nintendo has to do. They go to the well for this very dry 2024. I cannot imagine they had on their roadmap that they were going to be adding a new sport to Switch Sports. And I don't know what this will do for anybody. Is this going to get people to buy Switch Sports to play basketball on? I don't even know. But I'm sure this was a low budget effort. They added basketball to Switch Sports. It's going to come out summer 2024. They did not mention new outfits, but I will be jumping back into Switch Sports. You know me. This is a game I 100%ed. I played every week. I filled up every catalog. I got every item. I lamented that I couldn't get a Mario hat in this game. There was really just no cross IP going on. But I'm going to be playing the basketball. The basketball looks like it could be interesting. I'll play it online, see how it goes. And I'm hoping that they add just one more catalog with basketball stuff. All the other sports are represented. Give me one more catalog with sports stuff. I think they kind of have to, because if you played this game, all the sports have equipment. You can get tons of different bowling balls, tons of different golf clubs, which was the other sport they added after the release. So I would imagine that there's other basketballs and stuff, but I don't know if it's going to cross over multiple catalogs or it'll be just one more. But I'm jumping in. I'll jump back in. I don't know how long I'll be in it, but I want to make sure I get my catalog fully complete. So we'll see. Disney Illusion Island got an update. Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I'm going to have my wife come in a little bit and talk about what games she was excited about, and I think that might be one of them. Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports is a game that I think Drew is totally into and maybe just talked about. That game's made by Game Mill, folks. I don't know. No. Play Switch Sports. Donkey Kong Country Returns Remaster. Or as somebody put it, the second return or the third return of Donkey Kong Country. This was originally released on the Wii, and it got a 3DS port as well, and now it's coming to the Switch. I'm not really interested in this one. It's sad that the Nintendo Switch, in terms of Donkey Kong, will be remembered as a console that had 2 remasters of Donkey Kong games, Donkey Kong Country games. They got Tropical Freeze as well, and not an original game. And the shit cherry on the shit sundae is that it comes out in January of 2025. So you're just getting a port, and you still got to wait 6 months for this. It's a little weird. Whatever. I love the Donkey Kong Country games. Don't get me wrong. I love them. Tropical Freeze was great. It's just sad that we didn't get a new Donkey Kong game. I theorize that we will get one early in the life cycle for the Switch too. I think Donkey Kong's now at the front of the line, and maybe this is like a game to like generate a little bit of excitement for it, but I think we'll get a new Donkey Kong Country game in probably 2026, I would say. Dragon Quest III HD 2D has finally appeared again. Very exciting. I'm interested in these games because I love the HD 2D engine. The only Dragon Quest game I ever played was 11, and I enjoyed my time. But I'm not sure yet if I'm going to play these or not. For some reason, the appearance of Dragon Quest III did not have that HD 2D sparkle, and some of the motion in the game seemed a little, I don't know, plain or whatever. I'm not sure if I'm in on this one. Also, you're jumping in on the third entry. But they also announced that 1 and 2 are going to be coming as well in 2025. So I'm going to guess that I will wait until 1 and 2 come out and then see if they put it in a 3-pack that I can get all at once. But very glad to see these, and I definitely have my eye on these as well. Funko Fusion, which we had seen in another showcase a while back. Maybe, was it the State of Play? Looked more interesting. They showed a lot of the cutscenes. This game showed more of the gameplay. And I don't think I was ever interested in it, but I really am not interested in it. The footage was a little bit brutal on the Switch. Also, it's trying to be like Disney Infinity, where, you know, you saw Child's Play Funko. You saw, that's all I remember. No, there was other stuff. Trust me, there was a bunch of other like Funko themes going on with various Funkos that have been released. But I feel like by doing all of them, they're all going to be pretty bland. So we'll see on September 13th. I don't know. But I just have a feeling it's trying to do too much, and in the end will be just a little shallow. I don't have any expectations for this. Darkest Dungeon is coming to the Nintendo Switch. I am very excited for this one. The game with my biggest love-hate relationship. Darkest Dungeon, I played 40 hours and I loved it. But it was just way too difficult to try to like execute the final, the victory of it. You have to build up your army, and I loved doing that. But then at the end, you had to, you know, take that army and beat the darkest dungeons, 4 of them. And they even had some weird rules about once you did it, you couldn't use those characters anymore. I love the whole iteration of running 4 characters through a dungeon and grinding them up and finding items, and I love the game. But it was way too hard. Darkest Dungeon 2, I knew was coming out. Well, we did not know it was coming to Switch. And so it's coming to Switch, I think day 1 of the release, so July 15th. So I'm very excited for it, and it kind of makes me want to play through Darkest Dungeon 1 again. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through Darkest Dungeon 2, and then if I do well and maybe beat the game, then I'll go back and maybe replay Darkest Dungeon 1. But I'm not going to do the thing where I kill myself in Darkest Dungeon to play 2. I'm just going to play 2 and see if maybe I'll find out this is just not the game for me. I got some new announcements for NSO, including dirty N64 games. They said they're adding mature 17-plus games to NSO. Interesting Link to the Past 4 Swords, Metroid Zero Mission, which is, I think, my favorite Metroid game, and Perfect Dark from the original N64. Obviously, that's making an appearance because the next Perfect Dark game is coming to Xbox probably 2026, definitely at least 2025. I don't think we really know. So yeah, just trying to get that IP out there. So, and that was launched immediately. So very cool. Plus, I've never played through 4 Swords, and maybe this is my opportunity. Other interesting stuff, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Oh, God, another Mario Party game. I don't care. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I love this. I've been saying for a while I really want to see another Zelda remake using that toyetic style that was used in Link's Awakening. That I played that one. I remember the days before I started my new job in 2019. Really enjoyed it. I've been wanting a reason to play it again and try to 100% Link's Awakening. And they went and made a whole original game using that toyetic style, but it's a game called Echoes of Wisdom, and you play as freaking Zelda. I am so excited for this. I am hype. Very cool. It comes out September 26th. It comes with also a Nintendo Switch Lite version, which is like, yeah, you're going to make me buy another Nintendo Switch. And my plan right now is, yes, I'm probably going to buy that one. My wife and I are both going to play through that. And my guess is I'm going to put the game in the Switch Lite, and then we can just trade back and forth and play our own save files. That's how we're going to do it. So it doesn't interfere with our other Switches. But I want to get that Switch. And even though it won't be an OLED screen, I think it'd be a fun way to do it. So we'll see. Very excited for that one. And it has that creative Tears of the Kingdom gameplay where they have this like tri-rod thing. You saw the trailer. I won't get into it. But it's just very cool that you can kind of recreate enemies and items and solve problems very creatively. So if you love Tears of the Kingdom, I think this is going to be like the 2D version for you. I'm so excited for this game. September 26th can't come soon enough. A surprise Stray is being ported over to the Switch. It looks a little rough, but it's coming this holiday. It's a game I enjoyed a lot on the PlayStation, and I think it came to Xbox, and now it's come to Nintendo Switch, so very cool. I definitely recommend it. I don't know if I recommend this version of it, but I'm very glad that it's made its way over to the Switch. Ace Attorney Investigation Collection I'm very excited for. The only Ace Attorney game I have not played in my life is the Miles Edgeworth game that came out on the DS. I have it. I own it. I still have never played it. And we are getting a package that includes that game and the never ported Ace Attorney Investigations 2, which looks a little bit different than the other games. Has a little bit of like 2D, not platforming, but like 2D movement and stuff like that, where you're actually controlling a character instead of being first person. Yeah, I'm excited for this. Comes out September 6th. So this one game that I never played, I can now play it and play its sequel. I'm very excited by it. And then the finisher, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I cannot believe we live in a world where we finally got information on this game. That is very exciting. I was 40 years old when they said they were developing Metroid Prime 4. And I'm 47 now. And we got a trailer. Now, a little bittersweet. It was awesome to see the footage and like, wow, this game is real. It got a date of 2025, so we are still probably a year away from this game. I am also willing to bet that this game will be a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2, and it'll come out on both the Switch and the Switch 2. I am convinced after looking at it that it will also be on the Switch. The trailer, it was exciting to see, but at the same time, I don't know. It just seemed like Metroid Prime. They showed the ship come in. They showed Samus come out. We saw Samus turn into a ball. We saw the scanning, which, oh God, is my least favorite part of that series. And by the way, I never played through the series because the first game kind of gives me dizziness. And I've always wanted to play Metroid Prime all the way through. And it's just, I can't deal with the first person motion. But we saw the scanning. We saw some of the combat. It looked very similar. I know remastered looked really nice. You know, I just don't think we saw a lot of this to really kind of blow us away. But if you're a big Metroid Prime fan, just seeing it is amazing. And then at the end, you kind of see this character who has a Metroids with him. The Metroids look a little different. I don't know if this is a good guy, a bad guy, or a bad guy that becomes a good guy, or a good guy that becomes a bad guy. I have no idea. But we didn't see a ton of it, but we saw it. And that was super exciting and very exciting. We've got a lot of Metroid lately, and I think that's awesome. We got Dread. We got Metroid Prime Remastered. I still think we're going to see 2 and 3 coming before 2025. I think after, give it a month of people being hyped for Metroid Prime 4, and then maybe announce 2 and 3 remastered. I think that would be cool. And then we also got Metroid Fusion, and we got Metroid Zero Mission, which are 2 of my favorites from the GBA on NSO. And then you already have the original one, and I think we have Metroid 2. They've never ported the Metroid 2 from 3DS. You got to think that's coming too. So I have a feeling there's going to be many more Metroid announcements before the end of the year. And that's it. I was excited for this Direct. I think this is probably in a year where Nintendo is sort of mailing it in. This was the first Direct of the year, if you can believe it. In a year where they're sort of mailing it in, we got a new Zelda game. Yes, it's the B team, but we got a new Zelda game. We got a new Mario game. Yes, it's a Mario and Luigi RPG adventure that looks like it's from a B team. But like we got enough. I mean, I'm talking about 2 games that I'm like excited to play day one that involve Mario and Zelda, literally Zelda, not just Zelda with Link, but like Zelda. I got an update to Switch Sports, which is a game that I just crushed in. Darkest Dungeon ported over to the Switch, and yeah, the Ace Attorney stuff and whatever. And I can't play Metroid Prime 4, but I'm excited that Metroid Prime 4 is coming and has a name. So I thought it was as good a direct as you could possibly get. It's hard to complain. I had no expectations going in. Just a lot, like not only those core games Mario, Zelda represented, but so much gravy. The Donkey Kong Country remaster, if you're into that. Dragon Quest, if you're into that. The Darkest Dungeon stuff. The NSO stuff. Marvel vs. Capcom, a lot of people are excited about. Super Mario Party, I know a lot of people in the Discord are really excited about. Just Dance 2025 is really interesting because Ubisoft did their own direct, but they didn't even mention Just Dance 2025. We got it announced on the Nintendo Direct. Because it's the only place that people probably are really playing that game. That's where their market is. So just lots of exciting, cool stuff. And we're not going to get a brand new mainline super duper Zelda game for still another long time. We didn't get a Mario Odyssey 2. I think they should hold off at this point for the Nintendo Switch 2. But we got some cool things in the meantime. So I give it about an A-, I would say. As good as possible Nintendo Direct. It's not one of the best Nintendo Directs. But I think what really carries it is that whole Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. I'm very excited for that one. And you get to play in that toyetic world. I'm very excited. All right, I'm going to do something very special. I'm going to invite my wife down to talk about what she was excited about in the Nintendo Direct because she's very much a cozy gamer. So let's do that right now. All right, I got Michelle here, the cozy gamer extreme. Michelle, what were the games that excited you in the Nintendo Direct? I want to know what you think.
I was very intrigued by Neo Memories in Orbit because it reminds me of Ori. A little bit of
like Hollow Knight? Or like Metroidvania?
Kind of Metroidvania. I like, it's very artsy looking. It looks like you develop skills over time, so I like those kind of games. Inside kind of reminds me of, is it Inside?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I picked up on that vibe.
But I think it's because the character was kind of like a robot looking thing.
Are you big into robots?
Well, it didn't look like it wasn't like human or it wasn't like an animal. It was just kind of like a...
Right. Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah. Another game that I'm super excited about is Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Yes.
That looks adorable and fun, and I'm excited for it. It'll hold me over on the Switch for a little bit while longer until hopefully Nintendo releases something next year. And then Lego Horizon Adventures I look forward to playing that as a co-op game with my husband.
That's right.
Because he loves Horizon, and Lego is fun and quirky and has has a comic relief to it. But sometimes it can be buggy. Those games tend to be a little buggy, a little slow.
So this one's being developed by a different developer. So we might hopefully not see those early bugs that Lego games are sort of famous for. This is being developed by the developer who actually made the Horizon games.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So
they're pretty awesome.
Hopefully that'll make it better.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If we play co-op, Do I get to be Aloy, and you're Hot Dog Man, or how do we do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right.
I'm fine either way.
Um,
Stray looks cute too. I mean, I kind of know Stray when you played it on another console, but
yeah, you didn't watch me play the whole time, but you watched
I watched some of
a
it.
lot of it. Yeah.
I have an idea of how the game is.
Right. Were there any games that were missing that made you mad?
Yes. One that's missing every time there's any direct is Silksong. That we first got that announced in 2018?
2011. No, I'm kidding.
No, I think it was 2018. And
Look it
then
up. Keep going.
nothing. And COVID happened, and then still nothing. And then Xbox announced it 2 years ago. And here we are, June 2024, and Team Cherry crickets.
It's crazy.
So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why. 'Cause when they showed footage of it back in 2018, they had a lot of stuff. Like, it looked like it, a lot. They had a lot going on already. And yeah, and
February 14th, 2019
is when they first announced it.
is the reveal trailer. And I mean, they show a lot of the game. Like, it looks like a game that's like almost done, lots of different biomes and areas and whatever. I wonder if they were just reusing Hollow Knight assets at that time that they've totally changed out, but crazy.
Yeah, so I was wrong. It's 2019, not 2018. But still, here we are, June 2024, and nothing.
Nothing.
You can't even go to like their page and have them say anything on it. Like, there's nothing. Just crickets. So I don't know what's going on.
They're gone.
They're gone. And and when Silksong, if it ever comes out, I hope that it takes on, that they kind of do like how Ori did, where you had the option to play, play more of the story and less of the fighting. Because not every gamer is the same. There's different levels of a gamer, and I'm not an extreme gamer. I like to be more casual when I play games, but I still enjoy challenging games. And I just want to be able to play it and not have to ask my husband to fight every boss for me.
I would prefer that your husband not fight every boss for you as well.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
That it?
That's it.
All right. What would you grade the Nintendo Direct for you? What would you grade it?
For me, there was definitely stuff that I was interested in, so I'd give it a B+.
Okay. All right, we're going to wrap it up with questions. I'm going to answer these questions first, and then we will go to Drew and get his answers. But let me take my crack at them. We've got a few here. First, from Tim. Tim said, "Love the Disney Guys discussion you all had last time, so here's my question. What would a dad's theme park be like? And would it bring the magic?" Thank you, Tim. Yeah, we had a discussion about the 4-hour video on the Star Wars Hotel. I really enjoyed it. I hope Drew actually watches that one, because I really want to get his opinion after going through that marathon. I think there's a lot of theme parks that are very family friendly. I think a dad's theme park should be not family friendly, a little more intense. I have always said that I really wish I could do the Alien Encounter ride from Disney that has closed down. But it was scary and it wasn't family friendly, and they probably had a lot of kids that went in and were terrified and didn't know. I would like to have a dad's park that does that. A little like some edgier stuff. But I love the family friendly stuff too. But I would like to see it be a mix. And I want to see some rides themed on some of the famous games that get discussed on this show. Obviously, Ages of Mages for sure. Obviously, a Life is Strange park, because, we can't go an episode without me talking about that. I could probably think of some other like things. I don't think we need a pine ride, that is for sure, but I think just sort of theming it based on some of the most talked about topics on this show. We definitely need a corkscrew roller coaster. I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right, Darth Platypus writes, what game that was shown off would you like to get on the next Nintendo system? Honestly, I'm trying to remember when this question was asked. This question was asked, I think, gosh, yeah, Summer Game Fest. So this was before the Direct. So what would you like to see on the next Nintendo system? Gosh, golly gee. That can be a bit of a tough question, honestly, now that I think about it, because I think Star Wars Outlaws is probably the one that sticks out. That one is not coming to Switch, at least not now. But I think in a next generation Switch, I think that makes the most sense to come. I know the Life is Strange game is coming to the Switch, although maybe not day and date. In terms of like other games that are coming out, I don't really know. I don't know. I think a lot of people would like to see the new Doom game. We did get the previous Doom games on the Switch. I don't know if the Switch can handle the new one. So that would be another one, I guess, for the Switch too. But not my jam. Not first person stuff. Not my jam. So yeah, Star Wars Outlaws would be my answer. Also, are you doing anything amazing for Father's Day? Did Drew's wife leave the kids with him to go off and enjoy a ladies' weekend? I hope that Amy did. I didn't do anything amazing for Father's Day for a couple of reasons. One, we are going to be enjoying Father's Day this upcoming Sunday with family. We delayed it a week. But for actual Father's Day, I just relaxed. I watched the Mets. And I broke in my new grill. I have had this little grill that I bought. It's just a 2-burner small grill because we were able to fit it in a little nook by the stairs on our patio. And for 11 years in this house, I have just grilled lousy. It's just the grill. I always blamed it on the fact that it was a small grill. My previous grill at my previous house was fine. We had a 4-burner. And I have been wanting to get a new grill for a while, and I finally decided to do it because we are having family over on Father's Day, and I think that's when you should grill. My brother-in-law doesn't grill all that often, so I was like, I want to grill. And I started just kind of figuring out what kind of grill do I want, and I decided I'm going to get a Weber. Everyone always says, get a Weber, just get it. It's expensive, but it'll bring you a lot of really good grilling. And it has. So on that Father's Day, I made burgers for the first time in a couple of years because we just didn't have a good grill. I mean, my previous grill would like either burn things or not cook them completely. And it did great. It did freaking great. We had good burgers. I think there's room for improvement. Definitely for sure. I put olive oil on the burgers for the first time, but I probably put a little too much. And when I flipped them, of course, it was like a big fire. So I'll probably brush them. But yeah, we're having family over this Sunday, and I can't wait to grill some burgers, and I think everything will go great. And then I also grilled, by the way, hot dogs earlier this week, and they came out fantastic. So I'm watching some videos. I'm getting my grilling skills improved, and I'm very excited about it. But that's what I did on Father's Day: Mets and grilling. By the way, the Mets won. Hambone Johnny writes, is Drew going to play Lego Horizon Adventures? I did hear that he's going to play it, and I'm excited. I think it's going to be a cool game. So I'm very excited. And as Michelle mentioned, we are going to co-op it. We're going to play it on the PlayStation, but we're going to co-op it. It's going to be a lot of fun. When you're at a hotel and they have continental breakfast, what's your go-to? And he gave his guesses for each of us, and I have never looked at these. He blocked them off, so I have not looked at these. So let me answer this question again. When you're at a hotel and they have continental breakfast, what's your go-to? I like the waffle machines. There is one where you you get a little cup of the batter, you put it in the waffle maker, you close it, you flip it over, timer goes. It's actually amazing that they let you do this on your own, honestly. I usually go with that. And then, Usually go for sausage or bacon if it's there, for sure. And that's really it. I don't get too crazy. I don't like to overeat when I'm on the road, vacationing, whatever. I don't want to have like bowel problems or diarrhea or whatever. So I try to take it easy. But yeah, definitely like waffle and a meat. That's kind of what I go to. And then I usually will have like some OJ or apple juice and I dilute it in water because I don't want to drink the whole thing. So that's what I go to. Let's see what your guess was for me. Cheese Danish, or uses the make your own waffle iron because he's so fancy. You nailed it, Hambone. Is that fancy? I don't know if it's fancy. You know what else I've seen lately too is automatic pancake makers where they just do the whole thing, I think, right? They shoot the batter down, it goes on a little conveyor belt, it cooks, it comes down. I don't love the pancakes that these machines make. I don't think they're very good. I like to make my own pancakes. But the waffles are passable. So make a waffle. Make a waffle indeed. All right, that's the questions. And I'm going to now play Drew's answer for each of these.
All right, Tim, Nintendo Dad's asked, love the Disney guys discussion you had last episode. So here's my question. What would a dad's theme park be like, and how would it bring the magic? Wow, Tim. My closet door is open and my daughter's upstairs. So let me choose my words smartly here. First of all, 21 plus. Absolute must. Alcohol, well, you can't say that. Beer is free and unlimited. That's the first one. So free beer throughout the park. Lands. I'm a big component of breaking down amusement parks and theme parks by lands. So let's say, let's go 5 lands. First land, right off the bat, we got to go smart here. Let's go with mature audience, right? Strip clubs, lap dances, whole 9 yards, right? Get creative as you want. We'll hire creative people for that. Land number 2, sports land, right? As a dad, you love sports. I want to see like the best mini golf course you've ever seen. That's definitely there. What else do we do for sports there? Maybe you have professional athletes that the park hires who comes in, so you get some autographs, maybe shoot hoops, with Jason Tatum, something like that. The park pays for these athletes to be there. Maybe you don't get big names, but I still like the idea of having people there, get autographs. It kind of draws the crowds in more often to go see their favorite people. Maybe you can even house some type of professional game. I mean, that's getting a little out of control. Maybe minor league games of some sort, right? Disney actually has, fun fact, the Tampa Bay Rays, I don't know if that's still a team, their farm team actually has a stadium on Disney property at Wide World of Sports. They play sometimes. I think that used to be. Don't quote me on that. You know what? I'm not really sure anymore. It used to be true. So sports land, we got mature land. We got to go video game land, right? We got to go to the video game. I want virtual reality. I want video game tournaments being hosted there, esports, retro centered, whatever it is, video game interaction. I want plushie galore, gift shops. You got it, you name it. Though there's free beer in the park, the 4th land is going to be alcohol center. So, you got these homegrown breweries, APAs, IPAs, stouts, right? Maybe some wine tasting, right? Some whiskey, some bourbon, just a full out, maybe a little bit of ride attractions in there, maybe a little bit of behind the scenes on how we, brew beer and same thing with make wine, the whole 9 yards. So alcohol, land, whatever we want to call it. That's 4. The 5th one is going to be a sales pitch, right? We got to throw this one in here because all dads love this. It's going to be, I want to call it like, I don't know if I want to just focus it on landscaping, but maybe like dad type household items, right? What's the newest lawnmower out there? What's the newest like toolbox of gadgets that I need? Like, we're talking about a dad's theme park, right? What is some things that just as a dad, as a homeowner, as a parent, as, whatever, what are some things that you can sell me on? Show me the newest of the greatest things out there. Maybe it's what's the newest car, whatever it might be. That's what I want. Those are my 5 lands. That's the dad's theme park, Tim. I hope I did it justice. All right, next, Darth Platypus. What game that was shown off would you like to get on the next Nintendo system? I think that was a direct related to Summer Game Fest, I want to say. I don't know. I gotta be honest, Darth, I didn't follow along, but I'm gonna say Star Wars Outlaws. Even though it's from the Luna, if it's anything like the Avatar game, I really fell in love with it, and I've been seeing from the footage and stuff I've seen. Why not? I love to play it handheld. Also, doing anything amazing for Father's Day, did Drew's wife leave the kids with him and go off to enjoy ladies' weekend? I see what he did there. Reference back to Mother's Day episodes. No, I already kind of mentioned it. I was sick as a dog. Did not do much at all. So, unfortunately, not the best. And lastly, Hambone asks, is Drew going to play Lego Horizon Adventures? I've already said it. Yes. And then lastly, he asks, when you're at a hotel and they have a continental breakfast, what's your go-to? He had a guess for each of us, but I don't remember it. I can tell you he was pretty damn close for me. First things first, a cup of coffee. The shitty cup of coffee they usually have, and we get one of those. Then I'm a fruit guy. Let me go grab either banana, an orange, an apple. Maybe they have some diced pineapple. That sounds good. Go for that right now. So a bowl of fruit. And then I'm usually like a muffin. Like, give me a nice muffin. Well, they're not nice. They're probably more like those boxed, like, kind of, again, like at Costco's or BJ's. Give me a muffin, bowl of fruit, and a coffee. That's all I need. I'm an easy guy.
Wow, Drew, those answers were amazing. I look forward to listening to our episode and hearing what you said. But that's a show. That's a wrap. It's been a tricky show, but I'll be editing this in while I watch my Mets go for 8 wins in a row, and I hope they do. This show was late, but we're going to try to return to our regularly scheduled time in about a week and a half. I want to talk about The Boys, Season 4. Loving it so far. And yeah, we'll see how Drew's Disney vacation went, but that's a show for now. I still don't have a tagline. Let's go Mets, Dads! Good night.
The Dads After Dark show is part of the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts. You can subscribe to us anywhere podcasts are available. And if you're using Apple or Spotify, please do consider leaving us a 5-star review. Pretty please? Find us on Threads, Instagram and TikTok at @NDadsAfterDark, or you can leave us a voicemail. Check the episode notes for details. Join us on the Nintendo Dads Discord in the Dads After Dark show channels. That's where we chat and participate in monthly Mayhem contests, game tournaments and other fun activities. Get access by joining the Nintendo Dads Patreon or by subscribing to their Twitch channel. Check out our Substack at dadsafterdarkshow.substack.com for articles, links to social media, and our merch store. Fancy a t-shirt, perhaps? A big thank you to Family Jewels for our show's theme music. Check out his YouTube channel to hear other awesome Nintendo cover tunes. That's all for now. Good night, Dads. Sweet dreams.